Witness videos of CBP killing a Minnesota man appear to counter Trump administration's narrative. Eyewitness videos showing at least one federal agent shooting and killing Alex Preddy, 37, in Minneapolis appear to counter the Trump administration's description of events, presenting two starkly different narratives. Shortly after the shooting, federal officials said agents had acted in self-defense during a violent altercation Saturday morning. Preddy approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said, adding officers attempted to disarm him and he violently resisted. President Donald Trump shared a picture of what he said was the gunman's gun, loaded with 2 additional full magazines, and ready to go. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller said Preddy tried to assassinate federal law enforcement. But at least 4 different videos of the encounter, filmed by eyewitnesses and verified and analyzed by NBC News, run counter to some of the administration's statements. The videos do not appear to show Preddy holding a weapon during the skirmish that led to his death. The footage shows him coming to the aid of a person federal agents pushed before the encounter. And some of the video shows a federal agent appearing to reach into the skirmish near Preddy and remove a gun that looked like Preddy's shortly before he was shot. Bovino and Noem said the situation was under investigation. Preddy was a nurse and had a permit to carry a gun, local officials said. The videos, shot by witnesses from different vantage points in the street, in a shop and in a car, show Preddy holding a phone when he and officers began to tussle. Noem declined to say if Preddy pulled out a gun before he was shot. The recordings begin with Preddy filming masked agents conducting an operation on Nicollet Avenue. Federal officials said officers were there looking for a man wanted in connection with an assault who was in the U.S. illegally. Preddy is a U.S. citizen, local officials said. In the videos, Preddy is one of several people in the street. Some are blowing whistles and shouting and honking car horns. Preddy, wearing brown pants, a dark hooded coat and a dark baseball cap, can be seen talking to officers at close range in the middle of the street. One of the officers pushes him back toward the curb. Moments later, Preddy walks back into the street, holding his phone horizontally in his right hand. He waves an oncoming car past him. He moves toward officers who push other people away. Preddy puts his arm around one of those people and leads them to the curb. A few feet away, an officer pushes a different person, who falls onto the snow-covered curb. Preddy steps between the officer and the person. The deadly tussle begins. Preddy faces the officer, who pulls out what appears to be a pepper-to-spray canister. Preddy twists away, raising his left hand above his head, and the officer sprays at Preddy's face and pushes him. Preddy moves to the person on the curb and the officer sprays at him again. Preddy appears to put his phone in his right coat pocket, then falls over the person and grabs onto them. The officer pulls at Preddy, who clings to the person on the curb. Several more officers surround Preddy and wrestle him to the pavement. As they scuffle, the officers are shouting. One, holding an object in his right hand, appears to swing at Preddy's head 3 times. Preddy can be seen bent forward, holding himself up with his forearms and hands on the pavement. Another officer, wearing a gray jacket, approaches the scrum without anything in his hands and reaches toward Preddy. Someone says gun. An officer in a black mask standing over Preddy pulls his gun from his holster and points it down at Preddy. The officer in the gray jacket turns from the scrum with a gun that appears similar to Preddy's in his right hand. Preddy is on his knees. The first shot rings out. The officer in the gray jacket, now holding the gun pointed down in his hand, jogs away. The officer in the black mask moves behind Preddy and 3 more shots are fired. Preddy collapses and rolls onto his back. DHS didn't return a request for comment when asked whose gun the officer in the gray jacket was holding. The officers back up and more shots, what sounds to be about 7, are fired while Preddy lies still. People are screaming in fear and at the officers. "What the F2K did you just do?" one woman yells. "Oh my God." After several moments, officers kneel next to Preddy, appearing to administer him aid. People yell out for someone to call an ambulance. Preddy was pronounced dead at the scene, officials said.